women and 8 children died as the result of family violence in Victoria last year. There are 2 families devastated by family violence represented here today: John and Wendy Thompson, parents of Kelly, and Wendy Phillips, sister of Lynette. Kelly and Lynette were both killed by men who had a history of family violence. Wendy will speak shortly, but first I've been asked to read these words from John and Wendy Thompson. Our daughter, Kelly Thompson, was a loving daughter, sister, and much-loved aunt. She was a trusted and valued friend to many people. Kelly was always smiling, always happy. She was confident, smart and successful, feisty and fun to be around. There will be no more birthdays or weekend visits, no more picking up the phone just to say, "Hi, how are you?" Kelly was our beautiful girl. She was our friend, and we miss her every day. Just over 6 months ago, Kelly was murdered by her ex-partner, Wayne Wood, while under the supposed protection of a family violence intervention order and Wyndham Police. On the night she was killed, Kelly's neighbours saw Wayne Wood in Kelly's house, and knowing that Kelly had an intervention order against Wayne Wood, they phoned the Wyndham Police for help. All the Wyndham Police did was to ask the neighbour to keep Kelly's house under observation and call them again if they heard screaming or glass breaking. Kelly had contacted the Wyndham Police on 34 previous occasions. Kelly's body was only discovered after Wayne Wood's brother contacted police with concerns about his whereabouts. The police eventually went to the house 2.5 days after Kelly was murdered. We had to wait for DNA confirmation before we could have a funeral 18 days later. And now, Kelly's murder is being investigated for the coroner by those same Wyndham Police. Those police have now failed to comply with multiple deadlines for filing Kelly's inquest brief with the coroner's court. It was originally due on the 11th of June. Wyndham Police have not communicated with us at all. We are seeing no independent oversight or accountability in the investigation of Kelly's death, and we have no answers whatsoever. We are being made to wait and wait, just like Kelly was made to wait until it was all too late. We would have expected Victoria Police leadership to recognise the conflict of interest in having the same police station that failed Kelly now investigate itself for Kelly's death. But our attempts to raise these urgent issues have been met with silence and seeming indifference. We requested a meeting with the Chief Commissioner, Ken Lane, a month ago, but so far have had no satisfactory response. Senior police say he's too busy to meet with us, to look us in the eye, to confront truthfully how his police failed Kelly and are now failing us and the whole community. The investigation of Kelly's death needs to be undertaken completely independently from the Wyndham Police by the Homicide Squad. We want to know why the system let Kelly down after she did all the right things. We want to know why, even though Wayne Wood breached orders several times, including trying to run Kelly over, there wasn't stronger action taken against Wayne Wood that would have meant that Kelly would be alive and with us today. And so we want a full, public and urgent inquest supported by the Victorian Systemic Review of Family Violence Deaths so that we can thoroughly hear from and question all the relevant people and organisations, and so that we can do our very best to learn from what happened to Kelly so that we can better prevent future similar deaths. This is especially important because Kelly is one of 4 women and children who've been killed while under the protection of a family violence intervention order in Victoria since November 2012. But so far there's been no real action from the coroner about the need for an independent investigation or a full inquest, despite our multiple applications for an urgent hearing. The state election campaign that is being launched this morning says that there are a whole lot of things that need to be done to keep women and children safe from family violence. That includes making sure that everyone who works in the family violence system shares the same understanding of what family violence is and what to do about it, and making sure that there are clear lines of accountability so that everyone does the right thing. We also need to make sure that we know what works well and when systems fail, what has gone wrong, so that we can do something to stop it happening again. And it's also really important that we work to make family violence unacceptable in all parts of the community. As one of the fact sheets says, we need proven prevention programs operating in schools, sporting clubs, workplaces and media. And we need public figures to show leadership in condemning family violence and doing all that they can to keep Victorian women and children safe. So we're speaking today for justice for Kelly, but also for all the other victims of family violence. And we give our wholehearted support to this campaign to tell all the state election candidates what has to be done to fix the family violence system, and to ask them to commit to follow through if they are elected, as though their own daughters, partners and children's lives depended on it.